What's up, everybody? This is Reverend Guns, and today we are taking apart and cleaning a Glock 20. This is a 10mm. So the first thing we're going to do is a safety check. Make sure it's clear and safe to work on. Right here behind the trigger is the mag release. When you press it, it pops out the magazine. We do not need this, so set this aside for now. Next, we're going to pull back the slide all the way and lock it in place with the slide lock right here. So slide it back. Push up the slide lock, and it is now locked open. You can look down into the barrel there and see there's nothing loaded in it. So, to get started, disassembly. You'll want to unclock the slide. You'll want to pull the trigger. And now you'll see two little tabs, one here, one there. The idea is to pinch them and pull downward while the slide is back a little bit. So we pull the slide back a little bit, doesn't take much. Pinch and pull and release the slide, release the tabs, and now you can take off the slide. Got the frame. Right here is the guide rod. You need to compress it and pull it up to get it out. Okay? Same thing with the barrel. You basically just kind of slide it forward and pull it out from the back. These are the pieces we're going to be cleaning today. I'm going to grab my gun cleaner here and do a little spray down, kind of get everything soaked. And then I'll explain what I got going on here. Alright, so tools you'll need. You need gun cleaner. I highly recommend you try the different kinds. It's all up to preference and opinion on what works best. So give them a shot and see what you like best. I have a soft bristle brush. This has got a little detail end on the end of it so I can get to the smaller areas. I have a harder bristle brush to get the real stubborn carbon. I don't use the metal or brass because I'm afraid to scratch anything up, and nobody likes an ugly gun. You know, it's an investment for a lot of people, so let's keep it in mint condition. Alright, so for a 10mm, I don't have a 10mm brush, so I'm using a 45. That should work just fine. Same thing with the Jag. I don't have a 10mm, so I'm going to use a 40. And then we don't need any of these tools up here, but you will need some gun oil. I have a gun oil rag that I only use gun oil for, so it's not contaminated with anything else. We got some patches to clean out the barrel, and Q-tips come in handy to clean out the smaller areas. And then I also have a couple rags here to wipe stuff off as we go. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the barrel because that's kind of the one thing that matters on how you do it. The rest of this stuff, you can just go at it and scrub it. But with the barrel, take your barrel brush and you want to put it in from the back. And yes, that means two things. So stick it in the back and cram it all the way through. And make sure it comes out when you come back out. So as you're doing this, it might feel a little gritty. That's okay. The more you do it, it should smoothen out. And the idea is to, you know, break up all the carbon and stuff that's in there. So smooth is good. So once you've done this enough where it's feeling pretty smooth, you can count that as done. Grab your soft bristle brush, there we go. And we'll just kind of go at everything else. Get everything that you can. Once you've got that brushed off, grab your rag. Let's do a quick wipe off. Make sure we've got everything clean. And now we need to finish the inside of the barrel. So grab your Jag. If you've never used one before, you take your patch. And you'll see a tit on the end there. You stab that right in the center. And then you'll feed it from the back all the way through. So, woo, 40 is a little too big. Throw on a 357. See how that does. There we go. That's better. So yeah, all that black stuff's what we're trying to remove from the barrel. And you just keep doing this until you don't see no more black. It comes down to how many rounds you've put through it. So that looks a lot better. I'm going to do that one more time, just to make sure. Yeah, that looks real good. No more black on there. We will count the barrel as done. Let's do the guide rod real quick. That's the easy part to clean. Basically, I'm just kind of brushing out between the springs there and make sure there isn't anything in there. You don't have to, but it's not going to hurt it either. Make sure you get the ends. And grab your rag and wipe it off. Let's move on to the slide. Basically, you just want to go at everything. Make sure you get that slide rail real good. Both sides. You don't want anything left in there to possibly hold up the cycle from happening. Get the end of the muzzle, get the back, and just kind of get everything else. The whole thing gets dirty, you know, dirty hands and or gloves or whatever. Get around the extractor real good. And once you feel you've got everything done, grab your rag, wipe everything off. And I usually take a Q-tip and run down the slide rails real quick, just to make sure. See, it's pretty good, but this Q-tips kind of get the rest of it out of there. Let's do one more. You can use a Q-tip for anywhere else you feel you need to. You're not going to hurt nothing with this thing. Alright, slide's done. Let's move on to the frame. Again, just go at it. Anywhere you see dirt, grime, get the slide rails real good. I like to get down in there on the mag release. Alright. Alright, once you got that, go ahead and wipe it off. Now some of this stuff may not be able to easily get your finger in, so we'll just grab another Q-tip and get in those smaller spots. Alright, I like to hit where the slide rail is. Make sure that's nice and clean. Use a Q-tip to get down to the little areas that not easy to get with your finger. Try and remove all the solvent. It should take the dirt and grime and whatever else with it. Alright, we are looking pretty good. Time for some lube. So, grab your gun oil. And I use a little gun oil rag. Like I said, something that's not contaminated with everything else. And let's look for, basically we're looking for rub marks, scratches, scrapes, showing metal on metal contact. So we want to get those areas real well, along with doing the slide rail, since that's where all the action happens. We want to make sure that has lube, and the slide hits there, and slide hits there, a little bit there, and that's all for the frame. We're not going to put oil all over this thing because it'll just attract dirt and dust, and we don't need it to try and attract as much as it can. So, slide, same thing. We're looking for rub marks, scratches, scrapes, anything that shows metal on metal contact. That's where you want your lube. So, we'll get there pretty good. Let's get inside the slide rail real good. And I will not do the extractor because that's exposed and that'll just get real dirty real quick with it being in your pocket or holster. So it looks like we're sitting pretty good on the slide. Guide rod. I just kind of throw some on here to try and kind of push it in to the spring and get on the rod itself. It's really not necessary, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. If anything, it'll just help improve the function. The barrel, we're doing the same thing again. We're looking for scratches, scrapes, markings that show that it's been rubbing. But basically, since this is an internal part, I pretty much do the whole thing, everything except for the notches. And then I personally put a little dab on the feeding ramp just to help with ammunition, sliding into the chamber there. So the only thing left to do is put it back together. I'm going to grab the slide here. I've got the muzzle end sitting to my left. And we're going to grab the barrel first. And like I was pointing out the notches there, you'll want those facing upward. You'll also notice looking at the notches, there's like steps. Okay, can you kind of see that? How it kind of steps down? Well, that second step has kind of like a half moon cutout in it. That's where you're going to set the guide rod. So remember that after you've put this in. So to install the barrel, take the barrel muzzle end and stick it in the bigger hole. That is where the barrel goes. Put it in as far as you want and just push it back. It seats itself. The guide rod, it's got a little button end and it's got a flat end. The flat end is what goes on the back side into that little cutout that I was pointing out earlier. The little end is going to go right below the barrel there. So stick it in and then you'll have to compress it to get it to rest on that second step. And this is what it should look like. Okay. Last thing, you'll notice on the back there's two little notches right here. Those line up with the front notches on the frame. Alright, you'll take it and slide it into place. There we go. That took a little effort. And we're going to do a quick function check. Yep, everything seems to be working good. So, last thing we're going to do is take a clean rag and polish this thing off. This is your time to make sure there's no solvent, no oil, no nothing left on here. And make this look as clean as possible. Alright, so there you have it. We have just taken apart, cleaned, lubed, and put back together a Glock 20. This is a 10mm. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section. I will gladly help you out with anything you need. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. I also offer the online course to get your Texas license to carry a handgun. It's the 4-hour class broken down into segments and saves you progress so you can do it at your own pace. After completing the course, you can print your certificate. Then it'll help you locate an instructor close to you, no matter where you are in Texas, so you can complete the shooting portion of the course. This is all certified by the Texas Department of Public Safety. Check it out at reverendguns.com. If you have any questions or comments, please add them below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more firearms education.